Well, we had more cards revealed today. We are getting very, very close to all of the cards revealed. But we had Rennie Hour reveal on his YouTube. We had a GameSpark Japanese article and Trump SC revealing a slew of cards. So let's get into these and take a look. We have a couple of Demon Hunter cards. First, this one, Unleash Fel, a 1 mana spell. It's a Fel spell, and you deal 1 damage to all enemies, and Mana Thirst of 4. It has Lifesteal. So this can hit your opponent's face. This one, I don't know. It seems like it can be very powerful, but I don't think unless there is something that comes back like the OTK style Demon Hunter that we had in the past, I don't know if this card is going to be quite as powerful. Now, having a way to turn healing into damage to your opponent was incredible and a way to do a ton of damage. I think without that, this won't be quite as powerful. And if your opponent isn't running a lot of small things, you're not clearing, unless you're also running spell damage, which doesn't really feel like something the Demon Hunter has or wants to be doing at the moment. So for now, this one I think seems okay, but honestly, I don't know if it's actually really going to be included in a ton of standard decks. Then we have Brutal Annihilon, a 9 mana 9/9 with Taunt and Rush. After this minion survives damage, deal that amount to the enemy hero. Now, this is a big way to deal a lot of damage as Demon Hunter. It is a demon. We've seen people try some like big demon hunters before. I honestly even think that this could be a cool minion to work with the scythe that's going to consume this, create a spell in its place in your deck, and you'll be able to get this minion when you pull one of those spells. I think this could be a really good candidate for that deck. But the fact that it has Rush, it immediately impacts the board. And as long as you're surviving damage, which honestly at 9 health, there are many, many cases where it will survive. So this seems like a pretty powerful card as long as you actually can play it and get it out on the board. It is a little bit costly at 9. Then we look at some rogue cards. Now, these rogue cards are kind of a whole package. They definitely work together. And for this one specifically, the legendary Potion Master Putricide, a 2 mana 1/4 undead. After a minion dies, add a concoction to your hand. Now, the concoctions, there are 5 of them. They are Slimy Concoction, Dreadful Concoction, Bubbling Concoction, Hazy Concoction, and Gleaming Concoction. Personally, the thing that I think is the absolute coolest about these concoctions is you can add one to your hand, like say with Potion Master Putricide on the board, you kill off a minion, not just even friendly minion, any minion, kill off a minion, add one of those to your hand. If you have the mana, you can use it right away for that effect, or you can end up maybe killing off another minion, adding a second concoction to your hand, and they will combine into one concoction with both effects. That is really powerful, and it doesn't seem like there's any limit on how many concoctions or anything that you can have in your hand. Now, of course, with the Putricide, you will have to have minions die while this is out on the board. So, not necessarily going to get you a ton of value while this is out. You kind of really have to set it up. But there's other ways to get concoctions. With Vile Apothecary, for example, at the end of the turn, you get an added one to your hand. So it's an end of turn effect, which I absolutely love end of turn effects. It means that you are guaranteed to at least get one of those effects. But it's a 3 mana 2/4 body. It's undead, so there's some undead potential synergy. It's a decent sized body for the 3 mana, and you at least get the one effect. So you are getting some value. Love these cards. Then next up, we have Ghoulish Alchemist. It's a 2-mana 3/2 undead with a battle cry. Your next concoction costs 0. Rogue already does a lot of stuff with 0-mana cards. We've seen it time and time again. This one is a pretty small cost at 2. It also has that undead, so maybe there's some undead synergy. It's pretty aggressively statted with the 3/2 stat line. I like this one a lot, especially if you've made a combined concoction and then you can play that for 0 mana. Then you have the Potion Belt. It's a 2-mana spell, discover 2 concoctions. So you can combine 2 concoctions of the same kind. 2 slimy concoctions would combine and you'd get to summon 2 3-cost minions. So that seems super, super cool. You can really kind of build this how you want. Hunters are getting like the card that kind of builds a zombies, and rogues are getting like build a concoction, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. These seem really cool. I'm actually kind of excited for these. It's kind of making me want to play rogue. I'm not the hugest fan of rogue in general, in most metas, but this one seems really cool. Then we have Concoctor, a 1-mana 1/2 battlecry. Add a random concoction to your hand. So yet again, another cheap minion that adds 1 to your hand. I really like this one a lot as well, because if you manage to only find this and not really any of your other concoction cards, you can play this on turn 1 and then play one of those concoctions on turn 3. Or if you have coin, you could even play it, turn 2. So it does at least give you some sort of value. This is really cool. And then lastly, we have a Ghostly Strike. It is a rogue card, nothing to do with concoctions, but it's a 1-mana spell that deals 1 damage. And if you've comboed it, you also get to draw a card. This one is not flashy, like it doesn't seem super exciting. There's not like a ton going on. It's not extremely powerful, but I think this card is very good. We've seen effects of being able to combo and draw cards, and we've seen that at that cheap, that cheap mana cost. The 1 damage might not seem like a lot. There are ways to be able to use spell damage, I suppose. We've seen that in the past in Rogue. It's been a little while since we've seen that, but being able to just deal a damage, whether it's sending it to your opponent's face, picking off a little minion that might have 1 health, whatever it is, and then being able to draw a card or use this before other combo cards seems fantastic. Overall, I think that these rogue cards are so good. I feel like I've said that a lot, and you know what? These being revealed kind of in synergistic ways, I think makes me a lot more excited for more of these cards. But I do really like this idea of these concoctions, and I can't wait to see them in practice, which I will get to do during the Theorycraft stream. I was invited to be one of the streamers for the Theorycraft day on December 1st. I will be streaming from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to catch me on my Twitch channel, and we'll have giveaways, bundles, all that kind of stuff, but I'm definitely going to be trying out a concoction rogue. Like, I have to. It looks too fun. But definitely hope to see you all there. Let me know what kind of decks and like Theorycraft type stuff you would like to see down below. And if you do, maybe one of your deck ideas will be featured on that stream and then here on my YouTube channel as well. So thank you everyone for supporting this channel. And if you haven't already, I'd love if you could check out my Blood Death Knight video, because I think the blood cards are super cool. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check that out, and I will see you in the next one.